Kufta, one of my all-time favourite recipes. I know I say that a lot, but what can I say? I started sharing with you my all-time favourite recipes. Hey everyone, welcome to Jude's Kitchen. I'm Jude, and today I'm going to teach you how to make vegan kofta cooked with tahini sauce and roasted potatoes and tomatoes. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, then please hit the button down below because I will be posting new delicious vegan Middle Eastern recipes every Wednesday, so make sure you stay tuned. For those of you who don't know what kofta is basically just minced meat mixed with parsley and onions. Obviously I'm going to teach you how to make the vegan version of that. Kofta is very famous in the Middle East and in the Arab world. It was definitely one of my favourite things and one of the most things that I missed when I gave up on meat. This is why I had to make a vegan recipe for kofta because I missed it so much and I wanted to share it with the world. I want people to know how delicious it is and how good it is and how heavenly it is. I made two recipes for this. One, I replaced the mince with vegan mince, and another one I replaced it with brown lentil. I did that because vegan mince is really hard to find, and unless I buy it through online shopping, I literally can't find it in any shop, even the big ones. So I thought brown lentils is kind of easy to find and it's something that people usually have it in their cupboard, so yeah, I thought I'd do that. But personally I much preferred the vegan mince one just because it really does replicate the kofta and the normal mince so much, and it just brought back so many memories. Anyway, this is a super easy recipe. It's really not that complicated and it's super delicious, so let's get started. So I'm going to tell you how to do both recipes and you can decide which one you want to do from there. For the lentil recipe, you need to boil the lentils until they get very soft. I soaked mine overnight, but you don't have to do that. If you don't want to soak them, just keep boiling them on a saucepan like this with a teaspoon of bicarbonate soda until they get soft. For the vegan mince recipe, add them to a frying pan and add a little bit of water, stir and cook them for a good 10 minutes. Now we're going to start with chopping stuff. Let's start with chopping the parsley. You can really hear the corn cooking. Right, that will do. Put it on one side and then start peeling the onion. And now let's put stuff together. For the lentil recipe, mash the lentils with the onions, the parsley and a sprinkle of salt and pepper until they're mixed very well. You can also blend the lentils first and then add them to the rest of the ingredients, which is what I did. But honestly, just making them together with a masher will do. For the vegan mince recipe, add the onions, parsley and vegan mince with a sprinkle of salt in a bowl and mix them well by hand. You want it to be really nice and green. Now let's go to mix number 2. Batch number 2. First we're going to add these and then mix it with our hand. That looks pretty good. Okay, so I decided to put it in a deeper bowl just because we're going to add so much to this recipe that you definitely want it to be in a deep pan, just because we're going to add tomatoes and we're going to add potatoes, we're going to add tahini sauce at the end, so you kind of want the tahini sauce to not leave the bowl. Alright, and now let's add our lentil batch. Sorry fairy lights, excuse me. And just a bit of salt to top it off, and a bit of pepper. And now let's whack it in the oven for 5 minutes, just until it browns up a bit. And in the meantime, we're gonna start by chopping the potatoes. So you want to chop the potatoes in really thin strips so they can get really nice and crispy. Alright, so that's the potatoes. Now let's get that tomato. I'm only going to use half a tomato, I'm going to use the other half for a salad. And now you want to chop the tomatoes into thin slices as well. Once we're finished chopping, we'll take the kufta tray out and start assembling everything. So just place the tomatoes and potatoes on top of the kufta. Of course, don't over layer the potatoes. I repeat, do not over layer the potatoes because you still want them to be a bit crispy. And we just want to add a tiny sprinkle of oil on each potato, just a little bit to crispen it up. Right, and then a sprinkle of salt. And then we whack it in for 35 minutes. And now we're going to make the tahini sauce. We've made the tahini sauce before, but I'll teach you how to make it again. Tahini sauce, as I said, it is essential in our cooking. Essential. So first we add one crushed garlic. And then we just need to squeeze all the lemons. 5 tablespoons of tahini. Now we just add lemon juice slowly to it. Kufta is such a beautiful recipe and tahini just complements it so well. It's just a combination of delicious tastes and it is, God knows, one of my favourite meals by far. Alright, let's add a bit of water. So you kind of just want it to get quite runny, but not too runny. See, this is why you don't add so much water all of a sudden, just because it's really hard to mix. And I know this far too well. I've been making this since I was a little child, and I still make this mistake almost every time. One day I'll learn. One day I'll learn. Alright, that is pretty good. And now we add the parsley or coriander. I mean, traditionally, a tahini sauce. Oh God, where does this grass keep coming from? I don't understand. Typically a tahini salad, I mean we call it salad, it kind of is a salad anyway. Typically a tahini salad is definitely with parsley and definitely not coriander, but I've done it with both and honestly I've liked it with both, so don't let a Palestinian hear me say that. I'm butchering the Palestinian kitchen. And now, once the potatoes have really crispened up, we're gonna add the tahini sauce. Let's whack it in. Maybe it would have been better if it was a bit more runny, but do it how you like it. Kind of want it to be everywhere. Alright, and now we whack it in for 10 more minutes. Just make sure you've covered it all. You want it to be smothered in tahini. Absolutely smothered. Alright, and we're all done. Typically you would eat this with rice and salad. If you guys want to know more how to make rice the Palestinian way, comment down below. Don't forget to save some tahini sauce so you can add some on top after it's ready, as that really does make all the difference. And why not garnish it with parsley or coriander on top? And as we say in Arabic, صحتين وعافية. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, then make sure you do, because I will be posting new delicious vegan Middle Eastern recipes every Wednesday, so make sure you stay tuned. Kufta is definitely one of the highlights of my childhood, probably because it reminds me of the beginning of summer. And in Palestine, when we get summer, we get summer. We get sunshine every day. You don't just get 2 days of sunshine and then months of rain. Yeah, you definitely get the full summer experience. And I would say that in Palestine in general, we have the full 4 seasons. So in summer, it's usually really hot, sunny every day. Very, very, very rarely it rains in summer. I think it did this year. Maybe it rained in June for a little bit and people were like, what? So yeah, that is summer, and then spring is still sunny. It might rain, but there's a bit of a breeze. In Ramallah, especially where I'm from or where I grew up, it's definitely like as soon as the sun is down, you definitely need a cardi. While in autumn, it's still sunny. I mean, Palestine in general, it's usually sunny. Let's just say that. More often than not, it's definitely sunny, and it definitely plays a big role in staying sane. I definitely struggle with the lack of sun in England, definitely. I definitely see how much the sun has a strong correlation with my mental health and my moods. But anyway, in autumn, It's still sunny, but there's a bit of a breeze as well. It's starting to get cold. It's probably not very much swim weather, maybe a little bit in Jericho, not other places, definitely in Jericho still. What am I on about? It's very hot in Jericho. And then winter is actually really cold. People get really surprised by this. I remember in the first year of uni when a really like big blizzard hit Palestine in the Middle East, and my parents sent me a picture of our balcony being completely covered in snow, and I put it on my social media, and everyone was like, what? Everyone was like, get out of here, Palestine is not snowy. And I'm like, what? It's been snowy since I was like a child. Yeah, so it used to, I mean, it doesn't snow as much as it used to because of global warming, but it used to snow pretty much most winters. Like most winters is definitely, I have a memory of building a snowman with my siblings and playing snow fights with the neighbors. So yeah, snow is definitely common in Palestine. People get surprised about that fact. And usually the weather in winter, it's usually cold. It's very cold actually, especially because our houses are not built for winter. They're definitely built more for the summer because obviously it gets so hot in summer. But in winter it also gets really cold and the houses are cold, and we get storms. It's usually sunny. It's cold but sunny, unless we have a storm where it literally pours it down for good 3 days or something. When it rains, it pours in Palestine, that's for sure. Anyway, going back, why kufta reminds me of summer. It reminds me of the beginning of summer because kufta is definitely one of the main, well, maybe for me, but kufta is definitely like a very big thing in barbecues. And barbecues obviously only happen at the beginning of spring. Once it starts getting warm, we know that it's time for barbecues. And the best thing is we always used to have so many barbecues, like lots of family, friends, kids running around, lots of kufta. And I would always get a massive loaf of kufta. Just to clarify, a loaf of kufta, a loaf of bread. When I say a loaf of bread, I mean pita, because I've said this before in the past and people got very confused because they thought I meant like a loaf, like a toast bread loaf. But in Palestine we call it rghif. Rghif literally means loaf, so I will call a pita bread a loaf, but apparently this can be confusing for some people, as I have learned. So yeah, I would get a loaf of bread, a loaf of pita, and I would fill it to the brim with kufta and then absolutely smother it with hummus and tahini and a bit of salad. I mean, a very scared confession is I didn't like salad when I was young. Don't ask me, I was a picky eater. I don't know why. You know, kids, I used to be so scared of food. I used to be like, nah, I'm not gonna have, I didn't eat most veg. And it wasn't until I came to uni and my friend Jordan, bless him, my mum literally like prays for him because she is so thankful that he has introduced me to veg again. And he was like, Jude, if you're a vegetarian, you need to eat vegetables. And that was like 8 years ago now. Was it? God, time flies by quickly. So yeah, and that's when I started eating vegetables, and it kind of helped me have a much healthier diet, because believe it or not, we can't just live on chips. As much as I love chips, we can't just all live on chips. And it's funny how much I've really noticed how much I feel better when I eat good. It really does make the difference, because when I have a healthy, balanced diet with a lot of veg and a lot of grains and a lot of protein from hummus and beans and all sorts of stuff, I can feel the difference. I heal faster, I feel happier, I feel lighter, I wake up quicker. It's crazy. It's crazy how much food has such a strong correlation to our mental health and our well-being. So thank you, Jordan, for helping me get over my fear of vegetables, which is a crazy fear. So now the smell of kufta literally will take me back to those barbecues, and that's why I was like, I have to veganize this version, not for you guys but for me, because I love it. And I literally, oh my god, just making it again and tasting it again have really brought back so many memories, and it's crazy how much food and smells can really take us back. And I think one of the best things about starting this channel is the fact that I feel like I am able to connect to my culture again. But anyway, kufta is a very tasty recipe, and I really hope that you guys try it. I hope that you're able to like learn a little bit more about Palestine with every video I do. I want to do a little bit at the end every time to tell you a little bit about Palestine, a little bit about my childhood, a little bit about Palestinian embroidery, a little bit about our culture, our traditions. Yeah, because Palestine is a beautiful country, and there's not one person that have came there and weren't absolutely blown away by its beauty beauty, by the generosity of people, the hospitality. And I just want to share with you all the beautiful bits about Palestine. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to hit subscribe button because I will be posting new delicious vegan Middle Eastern recipes every Wednesday. So make sure you stay tuned and I will see you next time.